let's make this real simple. I'm just gonna build a very simple character out of a capsule, and I put the height segments and the cap segments to 5, the rotational segments to 16, which is more than enough. Right, let's make this editable. And hang on, editable. And what we're going to do is, I'm not going to bother with the nose, I just need a mouth. First of all, I'm going to slip some of these points to a position where a bunch of these lines are going to line up like a mouth. Let's see what we're going to do. Yeah, so I'm just going to get this one and press M-O and just slide it down. Slide these down. So I'm doing it fairly symmetrical. And these ones up. The corner of the mouth is going to be 2 points, more or less. Let's put this back a little bit, like this. And just a little bit, like that. Right. Now I'm going to select these polygons, and I'm going to extrude them into the head. So hit D and make a small extrusion and make a larger one, and don't go through the back of the head. So what I'm going to do here is actually hang on, undo this, do another extrusion, and then just move them down. It's better because otherwise the geometry will collapse over itself. Now what I can do as well is hit the T button and just scale them the other way around so that they curve with the back of the head. So this is actually pretty good. I'm not going to bother with any other things like eyebrows, whatever. I'm just going to make 2 eyeballs. This is the first one. Hit T, scale it down. Don't make it too big. And let's see. Let's move it up. And in front view, hit O, or H actually. And let's move it up here. Okay, go back. And I'm going to snag this to the geometry of the capsule. And just hit the right mouse button, go to character tags and ask for a constraint. And the kind of constraint that you want is the clamp. And you get this little submenu here. And what do we want? We wanted to snap it to the surface. And we want to have it aligned to the y-axis. That's perfect because of the texturing. Fixed position, that's fine. I want to have it along the found normal and a lock location. Now it's not doing anything because there's no target. So I'm going to drag this capsule into the target and it snaps. Now what I'm going to do is for the other eye, keep it real easy. I'm just going to make a copy, go to its coordinates and just shift it over. And I don't have to do anything fancy. I just take away the minus. And hang on. Maybe I should just first delete this. And hang on. I'm going to do it again. Copy the whole thing. Take off the constraint because it gets confused. And take off the minus here, so that's on the other side, but you can tell it's not aligned. So now I'm going to, well, just do the whole thing. Who cares? It's only 2 seconds. So clamp, surface, y-axis, fixed point, fong normal, lock position, and put in the capsule again. Right. He's, I don't know what it's called. Normally I would call it cross-eyed, but he's not crossing his eyes. He's actually looking 2 ways at the same time. Um, let's not bother with that. It looks kind of funny. Um, the morph tag. All right. Um, first of all, when you hit the right mouse button, go to character tags and you ask for the pose morph. The pose morph will ask you first what kind of morph you want. Now we're interested in points. And you get a base pose and pose 0. This won't do anything, and I would just add and delete that one extra pose later on. What are you going to do? First of all, the mixing is relative, that's fine. And you just ask for add pose. Now you see this little target thingy? That means that you don't have extra geometry. You're actually going to change something about the original object character. And if you have an absolute, then there's actually more geometry in your file that it references to. So let's call this close mouth. I'm just going to do this one pose because otherwise the tutorial becomes too long, and you'll catch my drift once we get this animated. So I'm zooming in on the mouth and I'm going to close it. So I can do whatever I want as long as I don't make extra geometry. So the geometry what you have is what keeps going. Now let's first make a loop selection and select the inside of the mouth like that, and let's just scale it. Close his mouth. So we'll scale it and we'll move it up, and then I'm not going to scale it all the way, and well, basically that's it. If I go back to the pose morph, this is the morph I've been editing. Now if I go to animate, you see these sliders, and this one won't do anything because that's your first morph. I just leave that there because then I have a copy of the original character. And this will open and close his mouth. Okay, I'll just do one more. So I'll go back to edit and I'll add a pose, and it will copy the base pose, and let's just flip it out and scale it all the way so that he makes an ooh sound. And back at the pose morph, go to animate, and now you can tell that it actually mixes two of the morphs together. So if I push this one down, this one doesn't count anymore, and you just have pose morph dot one instead of the closed mouth. But you can mix them together. So if I have this and I pull up something like this, you get a sort of an in-between. You can record sliders. That's basically the keyframe button, and that's how it works.